All right. Once again, you were invited to this call by Michael and Felicia Kaplan. So excited that you joined us this evening. And what you're going to hear about is something incredible. So I just want to start out by asking you this question. Have you been patched yet? I know that's a crazy question, but you see that patch that's sitting right there on the arm of this lady right here. That's what we're talking about. A patch that's about the size of a quarter that is raising a lot of noise. It is something that is changing people's lives in a big way, and you're going to get to learn about that tonight. So why would you want to be patched with something we call an X39 stem cell patch? Well, people may not know this, but do you realize that your body is made up of stem cells? They're the building blocks of your body. And by the time we get to age 30, half of our stem cells are depleted. And that's why we start getting older. We start getting wrinkles, all kinds of things that we will notice as we get older. But by the time we get to be age 60, almost all of our stem cell activity is gone. This is why our body starts breaking down and we get, less energy. Our mental clarity is fogged. People begin to get dementia and all kinds of things just because their stem cells have become dormant. And so we have a solution for that. And that's why we want to tell you about stem cell activation patches. Now, some of you may have heard about stem cell technology. You may have heard about it in the form of an injection that you've heard about. Let's say you've got a situation that, doctors have no solution for. You've exhausted all of your options. You're going to hear about some options that people exhausted tonight, and they turn to stem cell technology, not the injections that you may be familiar with, but the one that we're talking about right now, the X39. And so sometimes these stem cell injections may be, so expensive that the average person cannot afford them. Most of the time, people cannot afford them. They're like $5,000 per injection, or $20,000, or $25,000 or $50,000 per injection. And then on top of that, many times they don't work. I mean, you may have a 30% chance of an injection being effective. So why would you go through that risk when what we're about to share with you, the X39, you can take advantage of that for less than $100 per month. And that is amazing. Let me tell you how this technology works. First of all, it's made of organic nanocrystals. That simply means that right in the center of the patch that we just showed you, the size of a quarter, there are nanocrystals. What happens when you put the patch on your body, it could be anywhere in your body, the heat and the light from your body. See, we are light beings. If you're in the dark and they put infrared light on towards you, that you will be able to see the bodies move around. And that's because we are light beings. So the light and the energy and the heat from your body is going to reflect all of these nanocrystals when you put it on. In turn, it's going to activate and raise your copper peptides. Many people are familiar with high-end skincare products. Those have copper peptides in it, but it's a phenomenon what copper peptides will do. When you activate and lift and accelerate your copper peptide production, do you realize what happens? It reactivates your stem cells. Now, the reason that's so significant is because scientists said that could never be done. Yeah, we heard about the injections that I told you about, but no one has ever heard of a way that you could reactivate your own stem cells. That is much safer than putting an embryo cells in your body, much safer than putting, some other foreign objects and components in your body. And so that's why we're so excited about it, what it's going to do for you. Now, this patch has caused such a stir and such an amazing phenomenon that this company, LifeWave, that we're representing, and that's the company that provides these patches, it's literally a 19-year-old company. But when they created the X39 back in 2021, the company went from 20 million a year up to 280 million a year. That is a type of growth curve you never see. You hardly ever see or experience that type of growth curve in an economy. And so we're excited about that because Our company has reached over 75 countries in the last 2 years, and it's all because of the X39 patch. Let me introduce you to the brainchild behind all of this, Mr. David Schmidt. He's a CEO of the company, and he is the inventor of X39. This man is brilliant. He's literally a genius, has over 130 patents. You know, who'd ever heard of a person with that many patents? And just in case you don't know, patents have to be proven that they work. So he is so phenomenal that 20 years ago, he was sought out by the US government to create something for the Navy SEALs. They have to be alert. They had a project that was going to be underground for quite a long time. And he was responsible for creating a technology to assist in keeping them energetic and awake for over 36 hours at a time with no food. And so this is why this is how he became known. And for the last 20 years, he's been developing patents similar to that. But it wasn't until 2.5 years ago when he created the X39. He is a 2-time recipient of the Advanced Technology Award from the International Hall of Fame. And we are so blessed to be partnered with him and to have access to this technology. And why that's so significant, I'm saying that's so significant is because LifeWave is the only way that you are able to market this product. It is patented. It's been patented since 2020. So we have about 17 more years where we can be the sole company that has access to being able to market this product. We get compensated when we do that, and that's the only way that you should be able to get that product. Now, how does the technology work? Well, you're supposed to wear this patch for 12 hours on and 12 hours off so that your body can repair and rejuvenate itself. And then you just throw the patch away. I normally put my patch right by my toothbrush so that when I brush my teeth in the morning, I remember to put it on. And then 12 hours later, by the time I go to bed, I take it off. And so what's very significant and important about this is your body may begin to detox because the patch is cleansing your body and getting it to its optimal state. And so therefore, we encourage you to please make sure you're hydrated, drink plenty of water so that you can flush those toxins out, okay? You may want to drink coconut water or some other type of electrolytes to, to assist and optimize this process. Now, let me tell you some of the things that you may experience when you start wearing this patch. Some of the things you're going to experience are not even listed here, but I'm going to tell you what you may experience. You may experience some rapid pain relief. You're going to hear about that in a moment. You may experience reduced inflammation. And we know that inflammation is the root cause of many of the ailments that we're experiencing. It helps with supporting wound healing, and it gives you energy and vitality. I can't tell you how thankful I am for all the energy and vitality I'm experiencing. The mental clarity, especially people that have a lot of projects and a lot of workload going on, they're able to think clear, or they get in dementia or Alzheimer's. These are the kinds of things that we are noticing, you guys. Enhances your sports performance, faster recovery from exercise, and improves skin appearance. But like I said, there are many other things that you'll hear about that this patch is doing that's not even listed on that screen. I want you to look at this map right here. It represents a 77-year-old lady's brain. She put the patch behind at the back of the neck, and in session 1, she had all this inflammation in her brain. But as time went on, in her second session, this is what her brain looks like. The inflammation is pretty much gone away almost anyway. And by the third session, this lady's brain is free of any inflammation. This is what happens when you're getting older. Our brain, the reason we're getting older is because our brain has inflammation in it. And so this is just representative of what's going to happen to us as we continue to wear this patch. Okay, next screen. I'm not sure why it's not moving. All right, now these are the results we got from some case studies. Now, I want you to know that Mr. Schmidt was very thorough. He performed over 80 case studies worldwide by some of the best doctors all over the world, literally all over the world. 80 cases that took 10 years. I mean, and this is what they found out in these case studies. Over 4,000 genes begin to reset in your body just in the first few days. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. This is why people that have PTSD and other types of depression are experiencing balanced brain. That this because their brain is becoming balanced. So this happens within 6 weeks, you guys. Within 3 months, your collagen begins to increase, your wrinkles start going away, your hair may start growing and getting thickened. The structural integrity of your skin and your skeletal and muscular systems increases, meaning, your bones started getting stronger and stuff like that. Many times as we get older, and many people, when they fall, their bones are more brittle, and it's so hard for their bodies to heal themselves. So this is very important. Within 6 months, this is the part that blew me away. Our heart begins to reverse in age. 14 out of 15 people lowered their vascular age by 8 years just after 6 months of using a patch. Let me tell you a quick story about a friend of mine named Jeffrey. Jeffrey is diabetic. Well, they say he is, because for 10 years, he was giving himself 3 insulin shots per day, high numbers in the 300s. But in addition to being diabetic, some of the side effects that you may get from diabetes is a lot of different things. And what happened to Jeffrey is he had to get a pacemaker, and they wouldn't even let him leave the hospital without that pacemaker. Back in November, when he first started wearing the patch for just the first few days, he didn't have to use get the injections. But after about 6 months, I think it was about 5 weeks ago, he went to the doctor, the cardiologist, and the cardiologist said, your heart is now operating at 100%. You're not relying on your pacemaker anymore. And of course, we literally saw Jeffrey brought him to tears telling us about it, because he said he wasn't supposed to be alive. These are the kinds of things we're talking about. We're talking about saving lives. And I want you to know that we cannot tell you that the patch did it. What happened is you put the patch on your body and the body healed itself. Although that process I told you about, biomodulation or phototherapy, that your body went through that process because it used the crystals that were in the patch. Nothing is deposited into your body. So therefore, it couldn't have been something going in your body. It was just the process of photobiomodulation that your body went through, and the body started healing itself. But it's so exciting to see your friends now thrive, their lives now thriving. And so the information I just shared with you is a lot more information that you need to take time to look for yourself, because we don't have time on this call to go over that. But the case studies, the doctor's reviews, the testimonials, all of that is on this website called startx39.com. Do your own, due diligence by going to that website and learning more. So here's just some visuals of what I was saying earlier about, the skin appearance. Look at this lady who had this bad scar on her face, and within 21 days, look at how smooth her skin looks. Then this lady right here, after 1 year wearing the patch, her wrinkles started going away. Just her face started lifting. She just looks much younger and brighter. Here's an example of a person that hair is growing back and getting thickened. So you can see this is just visuals of some things that people are experiencing. But what I want to do right now is I want to bring a few people on that can tell you what they experienced with the patch. I will tell you really quickly what happened with me and my husband when we first heard about this. We were literally on our way to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We live in Atlanta, on the way to visit my husband's parents. And when we got there, his mother, who's 92 years old, was rubbing her knee. She was in such extreme pain, and this had been going on for 2 years. But all she was ever able to do was rub it with some ointment or take the pain medicine the doctor gave her, because she was really too old or she felt she was too old to go through knee surgery. We put the patch on. The next morning, the pain was gone. And the whole time we were there, which was 6 days, she never rubbed her knees again. And we kept putting the patch on every day. But the first morning when she woke up with that testimony, my husband decided he was going to wear the patch. Now, we didn't know that anything was going to happen to him nor me, because both of us figured we were healthy people. But what I first noticed that night, I was able to sleep all night. Why? Because my husband is a chronic snorer. He snored so loud that I couldn't even sleep. So guess what? The first night of wearing the patch was November the 11th. My husband stopped snoring, you guys. You don't know how exciting that is. I mean, it's sometimes I have to pinch myself because I can't believe he's not snoring. But it's true. He's not snored since November the 11th. So who knows what you may experience. I'm just telling you my testimony. So the next person I'd like to bring on is a dear friend of mine out of the Dallas area. He's one of the people that we shared this information with. And I want Mr. Lester Berry to come on and share his testimony about the patch with everybody.
Hey, Vidita, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, and I can see you as well. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Vidita, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share my testimonial. Very quickly, a little over a year ago, my wife and I and one of our sons were involved in a very bad automobile accident, which was a total loss for the vehicle. And we came out of it with a lot of bumps and bruises. And what we did is, we sought out chiropractic care for our treatments and as a part of our healing process. Well, I had very severe pain in my neck and also pain in my shoulder, my left shoulder, and pain was actually shooting down into my hand. And I was going to the chiropractor, and I'm not knocking chiropractic care because the days that I would go, which was 3 days a week, and went for about 3 months, almost 3 months. And each day that I would go, I would get relief from the pain. But what would happen the next morning when I would get up, guess who got up with me? My pain got up with me. And so I did this for, like I said, almost 3 months. I received a call from Harvey and Vidita, and I'm so grateful for that call. But I placed an order for the patches. When I received the patches, I immediately placed a patch on the base of my neck. And that night I slept like a baby because with the pain being on my left side, and I slept on my left side, I could barely, I just wasn't getting any good sleep. But that first night was the best sleep that I've had in a very long time. The second thing that I noticed the second day was that my pain went from about an 8 down to about a 2. And I thought my mind was playing games with me. So I, really wasn't telling anyone about it. But on the third day, I had no pain. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about 3 days versus 3 months of treatments. And this patch, because of the way that it reactivated my stem cells, now that I understand, my pain was gone. But on the 4th day, because I said, well, maybe this is a little bit too good to be true. But on the 4th day, no pain. And since then, I've been running with this. But one other quick little testimonial, because the relief that I received, I immediately thought of my 98-year-old dad. And his only complaint has been bone-on-bone pain in his knees. And so I sent some patches down to Mississippi to him. He placed a patch directly on his knee. And this was the X39. He placed the patch directly on his knee where the pain was. And that evening I checked back with him, and he said, and these were his exact words, he said, "Son, I believe these patches are working." I says, "How do you mean, Dad?" He says, my knees have felt numb all day. I said, "Do you mean you haven't had any pain?" He says, "No, haven't had any pain." And even as of yesterday, when I spoke with him, and this was, like I said, back in November also, but even when I spoke with him on yesterday, he still has no pain. He continues to wear the patches. And Vidita, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Back to you.
Wow, Lester, thank you so much for sharing. And I know people are just really impressed with that information. So now you have another version. I told you about something unusual, my husband snoring, that was not on that list. Now you hear about Lester with going through months and months of chiropractic care, and that represented pain, and his father. So you can see how significant this has been to him and his family. So thanks again for sharing, Lester. Next on, I have one more person I'd like to bring on, and that's Robin Clark. Robin, this is my dear friend out of, well, she lives in Atlanta now, and she is the mother of Felicia and Kaplan and Michael Kaplan's mother-in-law. And so she was the one that introduced them to the patch. So let her get on. Let's let her get on and share her testimony. Come on, Robin Clark.
Hi, thank you, Verdita. Let me just be real transparent here. Verdita, I've known Verdita over 40 years, and she had tried to introduce me to the patch initially, and I was like, I didn't think I needed it, honestly. I just felt like, well, I didn't think I was in any pain, any obvious pain, and I thought maybe that's the only thing it would help me with, not knowing really how intense and how valuable the stem cell activation patch was. But one of the first things I noticed after just the second night of using the patch, my insomnia, and I was suffering with an insomnia because I had some anxiety because of my relocation back to Atlanta, and relocation is hard. So I just couldn't sleep. It helped me with my insomnia so well that I've been sleeping like a baby ever since. And I'm having the most vivid dreams, which I love, because one of my most favorite dreams was shopping with Oprah. And so, and as a result of getting the rest, the proper rest, my energy level has increased. And I'm chasing around a almost 2-year-old grandbaby. So I needed that energy level. One of the other things that I experienced with the patch, and probably about a week after using the patch, I had been diagnosed with some arthritic pain in my hand. And I just tell you, aging is no joke, okay? It's not for wussies, okay? So who knew where this joint pain came from? But I noticed that my joint pain, I haven't had any issues with my fingers, any joint pain at all, any part of my body since I've been on the patch. It wasn't until a month later, after using the patch, that I went in for my 3-month visit, my wellness visit with my doctor, and I was told that my blood pressure was normal. My blood pressure has not been normal since I was 40 years old, and I've been on blood pressure medication for over 20-something years. My father died at age 38 of blood pressure complications, so I have always taken it very seriously. But when I went in and my blood pressure had normally been 170, or I'm sorry, not 170, 140 over 80 something, and it was down at that point to 120 over 70 something, I was like, wow, this is what's really happening. So just to let you know, even though I could see some of the first signs, the insomnia, the joint pain, I had no idea what this patch was doing for me at a cellular level. It was taking care of my heart. And for some people, they talk about their liver and their lungs and all of these things that are happening. Our bodies are healing itself when we're using this patch. So I'm excited about it. I know that aging is inevitable, but I want to be healthy in the process of aging. And also I want to look and feel better. So thank you so much for allowing me to share my testimony. And good luck, Michael and Felicia. You guys are rolling with this thing. And as long as we keep just sharing it, and that's what it's all about, sharing this amazing STEM activation patch. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. And thank you for saying yes. I couldn't leave my best friend behind while I get younger and younger, and she wants to keep up with me. So thank you, Robin. And all right, we're going to get back. In a minute to some more to hear from Mike and Felicia momentarily. So I know you see by now what we see. I'm pretty sure you've heard some amazing testimonies, and we could go on and on. I could be on this phone all day. I'll give you a quick example of what I mean. Stuff you've never heard before. I was literally in the presence of a lady at a spa, and I was talking about this patch, and she walks up after I'd explained and given testimonies, all this stuff, had a banner that showed all the things the patch did. She walks up to me in front of everybody else, right in front of my face. Robin put this on video because she happened to be there, and the lady walks up to me and says, "What does the patch do?" And I said to myself, "What is she not hearing anything I'm saying?" This is what I'm saying to myself. So I said to her, "Why don't I just patch you?" I put the patch on, thinking maybe she might sleep better that night or something. I didn't know. Because once again, we don't know what's gonna happen. Keep in mind, it's not the patch doing it. It's just when you put the patch, something happens. I put the patch on her, and 20 minutes later, the lady started screaming, and we didn't know why she was screaming. Well, it turns out the lady's ears opened up. She could not hear. All that time she said she was reading my lips. That's why she came up to me to talk to me. And so do you see how the kinds of things we continue to experience, miracle after miracle after miracle. And I must say it one more time, this disclaimer: the patch does not heal, cure, mitigate, or anything. All it does, it allows our bodies to elevate our copper peptides, which in turn reactivates our own stem cell, something that scientists says could not be done. So I want you to understand what you have your hands on. I want you to understand what you are hearing. This is not something to take lightly, but I know without a shadow of doubt, you want to know, how can I get some of these patches? Well, I'm glad you asked, because there are several ways that you can get this patch. First of all, we've got some packages, and these packages represent, like, one sleeve represents 30 patches. We wear them every day of the year, one a day. We told you about that. If you just want it to be like a customer and you just want to get one sleeve, we recommend you get something called a bronze pack, because it's only it's a $25 starter fee, but you get 30 days, which is still less expensive than you being a retail customer, which you see is $150, but you're still saving $25 by getting the one pack that way. If you become a silver, that simply means you want to, number one, you want to get it cheaper. You want to get it at $99 per sleeve. Or if you're married, now you got enough for you and your spouse, but you've also got enough if you got a mother that you want to start using it, whatever. That's the silver pack. If you're gold, that simply means you're somebody like Robin or myself or Felicia and Mike, who say that we've got people that we care about, that we've got to get the word out to, and we need enough on hand so that we can share it with some other people. But then if you have a really big vision and you got a long list of people that you want to help as quickly as possible, but let me tell you what's going to happen. There are people going to walk in your house and say, well, you tell them about the patch. How can I get some right now? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me go to my dining room where I got some extra packages, and I retail it right out of I'm like a mini store, and I can just get rid of it and make my money back real quick. That's what my husband and I did. But more importantly, we had a lot of people on our list that we know needed. They needed this patch. Lester Berry needed this patch. Robin Clark needed this patch. And I'm going to let Felicia talk about why she needed it in a minute. Okay. So whatever package suits you, it's a personal thing, but just know these are the ways you can sign up. And this is just a pictorial of what I just described: bronze all the way to diamond. Now, what's most important to you, and I guarantee everybody on this call, probably family is one of the most important things in your life. And you want to enjoy your family. You want to have the time freedom to do the kinds of things that you want to do. In my husband and I situation, we need the security because we're in our 60s. It's retirement age. That's what we need to be focusing on. But if you're self-employed, you may be able to relate to the fact that you need to take control of your own destiny and your own future. So security is high on our list. We love to travel, but you have to have money to travel. And then you want to enjoy better health. And so far, based on what you've heard, I'm pretty sure you probably agree with me that this X39 patch is probably one of the best ways to highlight and enhance your health. Everybody wants to get rid of that. So we're going to talk about that now. So what I would like to do is, before we move on to the next slide, I would like to ask Felicia and Mike to unmute themselves and come on and share. Felicia, I know Felicia has an amazing testimony. I know she can't wait to share, but also what you see this business doing for you and the people around you, Felicia and Michael.
Hey, Verdita, give me 1 second. Let me put my screen on. Hey, everyone. Hey, Verdita. Thank you, Verdita, for doing this call for us tonight. And thank you to everyone that we messaged and you guys got on in such a short time. So I'll give my testimony of why we were excited about the patch. Of course, you guys heard from my mom. She introduced me to it. She'd been telling me about it maybe for, I don't know, a couple of months. And I just kept thinking like, oh, it's not gonna, basically thinking it's not gonna work for me, even though I was in pain on a daily, because I do have fibromyalgia, which is essentially, it's like autoimmune issue and you have widespread pain. So in my head, I'm just thinking like nothing like that is going to help with this kind of pain. I was thinking maybe it was more like an injury type, like, oh, you fell and hurt your leg type of thing. So she would always offer it to me and I'm like, no, I don't want to waste it. And so she came over one day to watch the baby because we had a lot of work to do. And I asked her, I was in so much pain that day. My pain for my fibromyalgia is typically on my left side. And it stems from my shoulder to my foot. And, but it settles in my hip pain, like hip bone, the most. And I was in so much pain. I could barely like get up and down with the baby. And so she came over and I'm like, do you have any of those patches? And she was like, yeah, I have some in the car. And she got them out for me and she patched me. And I mean, I was shocked. I said some words I'm not going to share on this call, but I was like, what is this? Like, I just couldn't believe that. So she ice waved me, which you guys will hear about, but she put the patch on and literally in seconds with that one, I felt relief right away. I mean, took my pain down from really, it felt like higher than a 10 to 0, and I could move around with no pain. And I was just like, I need to know more about it. And Michael was there, he watched it happen, and we were just in shock that it actually worked. And so that was when, Michael being a businessman, we were like, okay, how do we, if this works like this, how can we not make a business from it? Like, how can we not get other people to see how amazing it is? Like, all they have to do is, get some and try it. So that's my testimony. After that, we ordered that day. I believe we came in at gold because we knew we wanted to have some inventory to be able to get people started right away if they wanted to try it. To get them to buy it and have it on hand. And then also for each of us to have it for the month supply. So we've been on it for how long now?
3 months.
About 3 months. From that day that I ice waved, which is one of the patches, and then it would only took, I want to say our package came like 2 or 3 days. I started the X39. My other joint pain started to go away. It took maybe, I want to say by the second day, I noticed that when I went upstairs in the morning to get the baby, my knees weren't hurting. And so typically with fibromyalgia, it's when you first get up in the morning is when you have like, whether you're going to have like a bad day, like if it's going to be hurting all day. And so I would notice when I would go up the stairs in my knees. So that was on the X39 patch. And I haven't had that inflammation, which is what causes the pain since I started, and it's amazing. And I've gone a couple days where I've forgotten to patch and it comes right back. It feels, I noticed that I need to patch. I wouldn't say it comes back the same, but I noticed that I need to patch still. And so that's my testimony. Michael, do you want to share yours?
Yeah, I'll share my testimony. So for everybody, it does something different and you never know what it's going to do. But what's interesting is that everybody suffers from pain of some sort. and they just don't talk about it until you bring it up and you say, hey, do you suffer from any kind of pain in your knees or in your hips or in your foot? And no, I just a little arthritis or just a little, I get these massive migraine headaches but everyone will go into it and tell you, yes, they do have pain. Everybody has pain. And what's amazing about these patches, and I'm like number one skeptic, is that they actually work and they actually do something for you. And while it might not happen immediately, it does happen in a short period of time. And you may not even realize it until you sit there and reflect and you say, hey, wait a minute. I noticed that I've got a lot more energy, or, hey, I noticed I got a better night's sleep, or I noticed I've been dreaming, or I noticed that, something that you ordinarily don't do. And for me, I have sleep apnea, and the X39 basically cured my sleep apnea. I wear an Oura ring that tells me what my breathing is at night, what my heart rate is at night. And I had very poor interrupted breathing. And with the patch, I have good breathing and I'm no longer snoring, like Verdita said, which is good, which was keeping me awake. The snoring is not somebody getting good sleep. It's somebody getting bad sleep because they're not breathing properly at night. So it did that for me, as well as a bunch of other things in terms of pain and, built up uric acid and these types of things that you get when you're getting older. So it really is a magical type of thing. It works differently for everybody, but there isn't anybody that that doesn't need it. And if you introduced it to them, they'd be like, oh my gosh, I got to have this in my life. It is not a drug. It's not addicting. It's not, something that is infusing something into your body or whatnot. It's totally natural. It's making your body do the work.
Yeah.
And that's what's good about it, because I'm definitely not that person that, would take a pill or take, something to, hook me on that. I'm definitely against that as well. So it has been wonderful that way. But the other thing is that it can be a very profitable business for you, and getting people on the program and getting them to expand a network of people that they know and get the product out there. That is going to be where you're going to win if you're interested in that. The product is what it is for yourself. If you want to make it something else and make it a sideline for you, that's what Verdia is going to tell you about next.
I think that's what she's doing next.
Wow, I'm telling you, I'm learning something every day. I didn't realize Mike had all those benefits from the patch, but I'm telling you,
Man, I'm old.
you guys, it is definitely changing people's lives. And thank you all so much for saying yes. I'm so glad that your life is being enhanced, because you got to be healthy for that baby,
Yeah.
So you guys, thank you. Mike talked about it being a very profitable business. I want you to know that it is very profitable. And I want you to know that if you did decide you want to make this a business opportunity, listen, you're on the right team. You're at the right place at the right time, because we know what we're doing. We've done this rodeo before. We built large teams of people. And so let me just tell you something about the stem cell industry. It is becoming more and more popular. People are realizing the importance of healthy stem cells. And the stem cell industry is expected to explode from 200 million to 300 billion. That's huge. And so just to know that you're part of the company that represents the premier, the masterpiece of stem cell technology. There's nothing on the planet like X39, nothing. And you'll have the opportunity to be a part of the company that is leading this explosion. Now, let me tell you how you're going to be compensated if you decide to partner with us. You're going to build a left team and you're going to build a right team. You bring a person, let's say this is Robin, and she brings Mike and Felicia over here. And then she brings her mother, Margaret, over here. And then she brings her friend Terry over here. And then she brings her sister, Monique, over here. She's built a team of 4 people, which is the first thing we're going to teach you to do. But you're building a left team and a right team. And do you realize that this component of our compensation plan allows you to earn up to $25,000 every single week. And there are people already doing this. All right. So it is possible. And we're going to show you how to do it as well. But in addition to that, the people that you personally enroll into this business, there's another component called a matching bonus where it's unlimited. The number of people you can refer to the company or to the business is unlimited. You'll get 25% of everything they earn in that binary that I just shared with you. For example, if Robin brought Mike and Felicia on, and you know, they're some superstars. I mean, Mike is a big entrepreneur, and so is Felicia. Don't get it twisted. She's doing some big things too. And guess what? Let's say they earned $5,000 this week in the binary. Robin would make $1,250 just that week as a matching bonus on them. And then if Mike and Felicia bring Tamika on, and Tamika makes $2,000. Mike and Felicia will get 25% of that. They'll make $500, but Robin will get $400 because she'll get 20% of that $2,000. And so Tamika brings, let's say Lester. Now we know Lester's a superstar. You already heard from him. This man is a 7-figure income earner in the business, but you never know who could have brought that to Lester. But you're getting a matching bonus even on what Lester is earning every week in the binary. You guys, it's very exciting. I want you to know that there are some other things that we know that we can't share with you at the moment, but just know that we're about to explode this team. We're about to make some serious money very, very quickly. So you want to position yourself as quickly as possible, because the first people that partner with Felicia and Michael will benefit from everything they do. Whoever takes this position right here, they get to benefit from all the partners that Mike and Felicia bring on board. So don't slow around, don't hesitate, get it done. You might receive some patches in the mail from somebody in an envelope like this, but I just want you to know that all the information that we're going to be teaching you from is on this website right here called build331.com. We're just going to accelerate this. As I said, we are a team from Mike and Felicia, whose mother, Robin, brought them on. Robin was responsible for building a whole team of people. She was leading the Chicago area in another company. And then my husband and I brought her on board. I mean, she was a 6-figure income earner in that company. My husband and I were 7-figure income earners in that company. And then we were brought in by a gentleman by the name of Ken Robinson, who was also a 7-figure income earner in that company. And then his sponsor, Steve and Gina Merritt, who are the fastest growing team in our company. They made over $50 million in a previous company. So just think about it. You have a lineage of leaders that can help you get to any goal that you want to reach financially, and we can help you get there. So just don't hesitate. Know that we're here to help you. And with that, we're going to end the call for tonight. I want you to know that we're here to help you, and get back with Mike and Felicia. Let them know what package you're interested in getting, and so that we can get you started, you guys. We're going to do a call like this tomorrow night. You'll get more information from Mike and Felicia, so that in case you had someone else you wanted to bring on the call. Same time. We talk to you all tomorrow night. Good night.
Thank you, Verdita. Thank you, everyone, for getting on.